stand in line to face the music and speak with these hands of mine like a pantomime. You on his team and plan to shine, you probably stab his spine. You watch who you stand in front of, you watch who you stand behind.
And what is my take? Tell me everybody you played with that chopper, pick niggas up with no warning. It's a slave ship.
He walk in the parking lot, leaving the party feeling shake. Bad boys too. You know when Marcus daughter finna date, I meet Reggie at the door and put a 40 in his face.
Hello. Welcome back to the Speaker and Language Show, and we are back with the final installment of the Rappers Pentagon Gauntlet. JSmo, how you feel?
Feeling good, man. Glad to be here again. You know what I'm saying? I love putting these lists together. I think it's important, in a culture where we talk about Mount Rushmore ends up being that big talk. I know you and me talk a lot behind the scenes. We want to change this conversation. So where do you rank all time? It's easier to say that and get into some non-impact things. So to rank these skills, you know what I'm saying? Give this hierarchy of these talent positions and categories we talk about a lot. I think it's just great for the culture, provides a good template for people maybe trying to understand battle rap a little bit more. And I just think it's important.
Yeah, man. I think that, putting some official finality to this series, right, and also capping it off with pretty much saying who are the most well-balanced people in the culture, battlers in the culture, is just the perfect way to finish what we started a couple months ago. And yeah, man, I appreciate doing this from every category that we could think of in battle rap.
I wanted to say too, just so people know, for the all around, this doesn't mean top 5 overall,
right?
So this doesn't mean all of battle rap, what we mean is that literally it's well-roundedness. So if you see an amazing battler that didn't make the top 5, this isn't all around, doesn't mean overall, like we said, our top 5, right, or top 10 rappers. This one right here is specifically based on how many checking all the boxes completely. Even if there's better battlers than a few of them, we want to see guys that can freestyle, perform, punch, angle, and this is a jack of all trades list. So just to make that clear.
Yeah, 100%. With that being said, similar to how we always do, we're going to start off with honorable mentions. The first honorable mention that we have off of projection is none other than Easy the Block Captain. Now, you people may say, oh man, Easy the Block Captain for a long period of time, he has one lane, the drug talk, street lane. Okay, whatever. But even outside of the content, right? He still angles, he still punches, still performs, counter rights. I feel like these past 3 performances alone that we've seen in 2022 kind of showcased his well-roundedness as a battler. From the counter writing against Goods, the performance that he had, well, not this year, but last year, the performance he had against Chess, how he showcased his stage presence and stuff like that. And I feel like he's kind of morphed into a more overall angler as opposed to just a drug talk, anecdotal type battler. So we have Easy the Block Captain as the first honorable mention. The second honorable mention, he had a case of making a list also, but there are a couple other people that we kind of placed above him in this regard. No slight to him, but we have Hollow the Don. He's been mentioned across the Rappers Pentagon Gauntlet a myriad of times.
Out of any battler,
yeah, possibly. And I know people are saying Hollow is probably the most diverse. Yes, in terms of the boxes he checked, but I feel like even there's people that check the same boxes will probably do it at a slightly better rate or whatever. So we're just gonna leave it at that. But we have Hollow as another honorable mention. The next person, Free the Man, Sue Surf. A lot of people think of Sue Surf. Yes, Free the Wave. A lot of people just think of Sue Surf as oh my gosh, his crowd control is 100. His performance is great. He raps really well. He's actually quite versatile. If you look at all the things that he's done up until now, you want him to go in a small room and outbar somebody, just watch him versus Big T. If you want to see him perform on the stage Watch his performances against Geechee. Watch his performance against X Factor, Hitman, so on and so forth. If you want to see him, you know what I'm saying, like angle somebody or have like an approach and like, you know, draw it out and expand a concept, an idea, look at him versus Hitman. Look at him versus Geechee in the second round. He does so much. Hell, he even rebuttals if he needs to. Rebutted a couple times in the Geechee battle. Rebuttal at the top of his first against Hollow. You know what I'm saying? This man is pretty well versed in a myriad of things in battle rap. So we're going to give him his flowers in that regard. As another honorable mention, another person that doesn't always get considered as like an all-around battler, Averb. We have Averb as an honorable mention too. Although that he's kind of become like, you know, pretty much I'm not gonna say one-dimensional, but pretty standard style in terms of like just straight rapping and, you know, the multis back that he gets into. Now I feel like back then, right, I feel like he was, you know, had great delivery, great performance, great stage presence. You know, he could angle you, he could outbar you or whatever. I feel like he, you know, in the earlier portions of modern battle rap in the early 2010s, he kind of exemplified all the qualities you would want out of your battler, with great delivery, great aggression, but also a lyrical aspect that you know, wasn't quite mirrored by every other battler you would find in that time period. So we have Averb there. And the last honorable mention, who was very close in making the top 5, is none other than John Nadine. It's another controversial thing where he was so close to making the top 5. He damn near is the face of being one of the more diverse battlers in battle rap. Like when you talk about checking boxes and, you know, being, you know, a jack of all trades, you know what I'm saying? Like one of the first people you think of is John Nadine. And I think that he's most definitely one of the more diverse battlers in the culture. But the thing is though, I feel like the 5 people that we have above him are diverse as well, and the things that they're like really excel at in each category is slightly above what John excels at in each category. At number 5, we have none other than Pat Stay. Yes, Pat Stay made another top 5 list. And this is not off of, you know, recent circumstances, RIP to Pat Stay. This is literally off the strength of how great he was in the culture. When we talk about Pat Stay, we talk about a guy who can, you know, has freestyle, he can angle, he can joke, you know what I'm saying? Like, and just to show you how versatile he is, he literally has a round structure where he pretty much outbars you in the first little bit. Second, you know what I'm saying, he may joke or whatever. Then third, he may like have a personal approach, or it's like each round is like a different Pat Stay that you're gonna get. You know what I'm saying? Like he could spend a full round, you know, roasting somebody to death. Like I already mentioned, like I think it's the second against Averb where he talked about the babysitter situation. In that first round against Averb, he was punching his head off. You know what I'm saying? Shotgun Suge, you know what I'm saying, one of his more iconic, you know, performances or whatever. First round jokes, you know, and land haymakers, and has the performative aspect too or whatever. Real Sick gives you a heartfelt first, talking about his passing of his mother, and then he goes straight into the bars after that. Then he has like a whole little angling approach that he does in terms of Real Sick's you know, religion, belief system and stuff like that. He's just very diverse as a battler. We already talked about how great he is at breaking down his opponent, and great with angling or whatever, and this is across a multiple year span. But he can rebuttal. I mean, he's shown that against Hollow with the zombie rebuttal that he did against Hollow in the one rounder. Iconic rebuttal. He showed you, you know what I'm saying, obviously the jokes against Arsenal the second time, like change every scene with the game. man, I like Pat Stay is probably one of the more, like, he is the epitome of like being versatile in the sport. So we have Pat Stay at number 5. What do you have to say about Pat Stay?
Yeah, I mean, I could, you know, reiterate and echo all the statements you just made, but I think specifically, you know, for Pat, the way I want to break it down is if you just look at his Suge performance, there's 3 different haymakers in there. There's the Dream Shake, you know what I'm saying? Hit Suge with the Dream Shake. Then there was Shotgun.
Then a fraud is only right to give him a pump
fake. And then if if I'm smoking crack, this is something
Something
you
you
should
need to
look
look into.
So I'm giving all these quotables, right? And what you're going to notice is I gave you a performance bar. I gave you a half performance, kind of a crowd presence bar, have to time the crowd with that shotgun pump fake. And that's a bar. Like, that's extremely well written. And then a joking bar. These are 3 different haymakers of completely different styles of battle rap, all within the same battle. And I think the Suge battle, it speaks to so many other great Pat Stay performances where he manages in the battle to rock the room with every version of battle rap there is. And similar to, kind of why we did all around and freestylers later, these are really subjective because we're talking about guys that literally check the same thing. It's one thing when it's anglers and we're just rating the angles, but when everyone's a great freestyler and you're 1 of 1 at this, it's really hard, or I guess 1 of 5. And that's the same with all around. There's just not a lot of guys that check the boxes quite like these do. So someone wants Pat higher, I can understand, because if I asked you what's Pat Stay style, you're going to tell me all around. You can't just put it into one category. So a legend, you know what I'm saying? We miss you, rest in peace, man. And that's why we put him at number 5 on the list.
Yeah. Now we're on to number 4. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the first time he's been mentioned on any of the lists so far, which is kind of crazy, but I think this suits him very well. At number 4, we have none other than yet telling this Ill Will. Shout out to Ill Will, man. Ill Will is also one of those other battlers that is super duper diverse and, very versatile. Like, when he came in, everybody knew that he was different. Like the Johnny Alcatraz battle, like, he has a round where he has this like weird wordplay thing that he does. He has this like pretty off-kilter delivery that he gives to that only he can do. You know what I'm saying? The aggression, the street talk, plus the satire, the battle rap satire that he does in terms of like, you gotta nine that snipe like this. If that ain't where the shit stop, I'm gonna pull out that big ass in the holster and give you all 10 shots. Like, he's funny, charismatic. He also can get into a very, very aggressive street bag. Like, you want to talk street stuff, he can go in that room with Calico and do the same thing. You want him to write at an elite level, he can go on a stage against Daylight and either write on the same level or maybe even surpass him in that battle.
Third round, the drug scheme, third round was, that's real layered writing. That's pen work. I don't think people think about that enough with Ill Will. He has a very good pen. He has some air balls. He's vulnerable to it, but really does have an underrated pen when he wants to push himself. Yeah, or if you put him against a puncher, he can punch with, like him and Rum Nitty, which we both think that's a debatable battle, but he still showcased that he can at least punch like and hang with like a Rum Nitty, or at least punch with a B Magic, or at least punch with an Av. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people give him wins over all 3 of those guys. You know what I'm saying? So he can go on that stage and perform. He can go on that stage and freestyle. I knew you wasn't gonna let that slide. I'm about to say. Wait, the rum in the OR is not a rumor. Like, there's so many creative. The versus Jag, the lights make me ill, like epilepsy. When it comes to just creative writing, those creative uses of wordplay, Ill Will can definitely hang with the best of them. There's no question about it.
Yeah, I even think of, let's have some fun, guys. Let's have some fun. The second round against Briz.
Overall, even opening it up with the Harlem Hospital, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
Oh, Briz, I'm gonna get the head out. It's just all around comedy. He's really the showman of the sport, man. He does it. He's another one that just does it at every level, and I think that's what you noticed about everyone on this list. Is what I said. Hey, what type of style are they? We can name our punchers. We've done the list. You know what I'm saying? We know our anglers. We know our performers. But when you look at someone you like an Ill Will, and someone's like, hey, yo, what style is Ill Will? And it's like, man, Ill Will is some shit. It's some ever. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't even think of the word of it. Most people will be like, that's your response. If somebody asks you what style you are, they're like, man, that's someone that really's got the game, all around figured out, man. So.
Yeah. And then on top of that, like the freestyle ability, right? He can go in that ring and like him and Chef Trez low key had like an exchange in the second round or first round with freestyling. He kind of held his own. He goes into that Clips battle, start off the battle with oh, that's D Rose up there. You like that? That's what's up. And if so, I hope your legs stay. Like, like.
And if you even watch some of his smaller league work, I know not everybody's able to tap into local league stuff, but he is a one-rounder for Saga, for instance, where even though the battle isn't crazy, he puts together a fairly coherent one-rounder, pretty much all freestyled. I don't think he flexes it as much as there's times in his career where he's completely ditched it. There's other times where it seems like he uses it like fairly a lot, tries to hit it a couple times in battle. I believe he rebutted versus Ilmac as well. So it's it goes in peaks and valleys, but he definitely has the ability, and it just goes to show that even if you don't know about it, if it's a skill set in battle rap, Ill Will probably has done it a couple times.
But shout out to Ill Will. That's who is number 4. At number 3, we have the legend once again, and these top 3 is like very, very interchangeable. We noticed that, we know we said the top 5 is interchangeable, but these 3 is like, you can't go wrong with either one. But at number 3, we have DNA as number 3. What is there to say about DNA, man? I think that, the critiques that people have of him now, he's kind of like went away from that in terms of like, the standard 4-bar buildup, or sometimes the freestyles don't make sense. Now he's evolved into a really, really good angler, really, really good writer. But even back then, I still think that you can consider him one of the more diverse battlers, because he can perform, even if it's like to an extreme of like strapping a fake bomb to his chest against Roan or whatever, or even if it's, like just some of the work he's done in the 2-on-2, right? I know a lot of people say like, Shine is a more performative person, but Shine admitted himself that some of the creative ideas that they came up with in 2-on-2s came from DNA, and just how they were able to construct those situations. His ability to like make moments from freestyling, and then truthfully, I never thought that he was a bad angler. I feel like the 4-bar buildups kind of like watered down some of the approaches that he took. I always thought that he always was a guy that could touch on certain topics, but I feel like as time progressed, he's learned how to do it at a better rate. He showed you that he can write pretty well. Even before he got into the no gun bar DNA, him versus Mickey Fax, him versus Danger Zone, him versus Big Cannon, like those are examples of him going against people that are considered like more bar heavy or whatever, and he's either writing on par with them or outwriting those guys. He battled Danger Zone right after Danger Zone was considerably like the battle of the year in 2015. He battles him in a small room after that, and low key goes bar for bar with him, right? Same thing with the Mickey Fax battle, his grudge match, probably the best 3 rounds you'll hear from DNA in a small room. Then you also have the aspect of freestyling. Like I said, man, this guy has, out of a bunch of freestylers, he's probably one of the more battle tested in terms of going against other people that freestyle. Big Cannon, A-Ward, Chef Trez, him and Chef Trez was an amazing battle, and then again, angling, right? Like, one of the more impressive things that he's done as of late to me was going into a small room with B-Dot and not relying on no freestyles, just straight rapping, straight approach, and just going in there just trying to out rap B-Dot as opposed to using the other aspects that he can use. So that kind of shows you that like he has multiple bags he can hop in, and he can still perform. Like he showed you he can still perform, and it's like first and like round and a half against official, like he showed you that he can still rebuttal with the hollow battle recently. I just think that as time progressed, he's most definitely evolved in, like, he's always been well versed in a lot of things, but he's gotten better in a lot of things as time progressed too. His writing has improved tremendously. His angling has improved tremendously. Now he kind of has this thing where, he's a elongated schemer, and the schemes are actually very intricate. Like he does a lot of stuff. His material and content over time has diversified, and so is his skill set in terms of like each category getting better and better as time progresses. So that's who we have at number 3.
And in terms of just angling specifically, I think DNA is one of the best anglers in the world right now. I think that's really where he's made, like, where he's really stressed 2021 and 2022. You and me have talked that 2021 might be the best year of DNA's career. It's definitely up there. And that all really comes from mostly you look at the Av battle. That is an extremely angle-heavy battle. Other battles that people love, Luke Castro, the business talk, is really, which kind of stretches to the Av battle a little bit, but he's found his niche. You know what I'm saying? In a way, he's kind of, it seems like he even found himself, and from there was able to just get into this hyper, angling bag. And the way that he's able to get his approaches off is way better. And the only reason that I could see having him, why we put him at 3 in terms of a weakness, is that there was an era, as you touched on, of 4-bar build-up DNA. I can personally say, as I was a pretty new battle rap fan when I came around 2014, 2015. So, even though it's a little bit towards the end of that, I do, when I'm catching up on the footage, there was a good portion of years where 4-bar build-up DNA was a thing, and it was a default-ish style. And I think since this is an all-time list, I can hold him down compared to some guys that from the rip already checked all the boxes. But if we talk about right now, he might be at this very moment, maybe even that top 2 type of region for most all around well-rounded. I just think he does so many things, like you said, and has just went through so many different phases of completely different styles. Yeah. Really crazy career, almost like the Mick Foley-ish type of version. I know you like the wrestling in terms of the different characters he's played. So just want to give that praise to DNA, man, and totally agree. That's why we have him at number 3.
Yeah. No, but shout out to DNA at number 3. And now we have one of the last runner-ups of the entire series. And this guy is actually crazy because this is also the first time we mentioned this guy, if I'm not mistaken. We have Geechee Gotti. Geechee Gotti at number 2. Man, oh man, Geechee Gotti. Came in, right? Like, I know a lot of people say like his journey started in 2017, but he came in a little bit before that with a couple battles with Danny Myers and such. But just documenting his evolution from 2017 up until now has just been a tremendous ride. He went from, a guy that did the street talk and kind of didn't really look his opponent to the eye like that, into a guy that can do street talk, rebuttal, angle, joke, have street angles. Will also have like regular battler angles. An angle that I love from him outside of like the Tay-Rock angle, which is literally going to be one of the more iconic angles of his career. Love his second round versus Chilla Jones and breaking down his whole career as like being the best pin, but where did that get him and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Love some of his approaches that he had against Lux. You know what I'm saying? Saying like, I'm not one of those guys that came up in Lion's Den and looked up to you. Like, I created my own lane. Like he is a guy that, again, he is revolutionizing what it means to be all around in current day battle rap. Like, he's going to be the face or the blueprint for how people are going to mold themselves as a battler when it comes to the next couple of years and decades, because he exemplifies what it means to be diverse in a lot of things. And what we said about other people is that, like, while other people may check all the boxes he checked, it's arguable that he is top notch in each of those boxes that he checked. Like, he may not be the best writer, but he writes really well. He may not be the best puncher, but he punches pretty well.
And I want to say that, speaking of the bars, not to cut you off, but I know there's a lot of people that talk about, Geechee has ABC. Man, if we look at battles like Geechee versus Av,
right,
Geechee versus Surf,
right,
Geechee versus JC, so that, man, this guy can write pretty well. I know that sometimes he goes on the simpler side for approaches and whatnot, but maybe a couple battlers can learn a thing or two when you are doing angles. And sometimes maybe if you're in a bigger room, I think Geechee just is able to be more of a showman, like someone else we're going to mention, and really just knows how to entertain people.
Yes.
It doesn't matter how he entertains them, but he knows how to entertain them at the highest level. I think there's a great argument that in the last 5 years of battle rap, Geechee Gotti might be the best battle rapper alive when you compile all that. 3-time champion of the year. He didn't get that for no reason. And just like everyone else on this list, man, when we say what style is Geechee, maybe in the beginning you could say he was just a street talk rapper. It's so far from that. I mean, it would just be the quotables, like you said, from angling, from punches, from everything. He has a good pen, even though people don't want to admit it. Sometimes he goes on the simpler side. He has a good pen. And I just think he checks all the boxes to the highest regard, just like you said. And that's why I love having him here runner up, and really could argue for the number 1 spot, but off of kind of some prestige, there's a reason that he's the runner-up.
Yeah, 100%. And now we are going to go to the final stretch of highlights before we get into the number one all-around battler. So watch this clip really quick and we'll be right back.
Oh man, poor guy. I can't imagine, bro. Your babysitter sucked your dick? What? That's what's up.
Type fuck and a C would automatically replace the K right away. Fast. Efficient. We'll call it decrypted.
Look, he mad right now. Trying to log into PayPal right now.
Pick it up like this. Ain't that a bitch? Well, if that's the case, that ain't where the shit stops. I'll put like big ass AK out the holster, let the barrel spin, and he get all 6 shots.
Damn. Hey, you like that shit Clip said? That's what's up. If you did, I hope your legs stay fucked up.
I want you to disrespect any dead legend from my state, and I'm dropping something. Your man's leap, then I'm knocking 2 out. If I don't get paid after the mess I just made, I'm knocking you out.
Be blacker, but you can't cause I'm blacker than you. I battled a lot of niggas that's whacker, but never battled nobody whacker than you. Since you wanna be disaster, the king of the dot would rather give me a battle with disaster than you. And now it's a rapper, cause in this battle I'ma just prove I'm a better rapper than you. Yes, I found the block. Now I'll shoot down the block. Down and shoot down the block. Yellow tapes around the block. Weave the punch, counter block. Cause all it takes is 3 rights to be around the block. That's why the realest in the game departed. Give you drugs to prey on the weak, cause they know you gonna break the hardest. Now you saying fuck rent, asking where the love went. And the streams is barely giving you 1 cent. Yeah, that's the man you want out here enslave the artist. I'm here! I am here! I am here!
What was supposed to happen? It sounded like what was supposed to happen. Hey, bro be capping, but I really tried with this nigga. No wonder them seatbelts didn't work. You don't ride with your niggas. Easy, man. You know what I do, dog. At your mom's crib with 100 guns. You will be battling a high-low before John did. Magnums blasting. Funeral, had your casket fastened. Front row the whole family. Got your mama making jazz reactions. Got damn, I'm spazzing. Down, basic cable. Yeah, nigga, good luck. Like you getting everything 40 and up. The Mexican came and gave me the hookup.
And finally, at number one all around, he was mentioned in the freestylers list, and now he's mentioned again in top 5 all around. We have none other than Charlie Clips. What can I say without echoing everything I said in the last video, man? Just overall entertainer, right? Has so many bags he can hop in. I know a lot of people say like, oh, he's pretty much like a four bar build up guy with freestyling and jokes. But have you ever seen who he goes up against and how his style kind of like either neutralize another person's style? We've seen this man go against Twerk, and Twerk delivered a crazy first round.
Possibly the best round of Twerk's career.
Exactly. Go, and then second round, what does he do? He used that little joking tactic plus a little bit of conceptual stuff, and pretty much slightly neutralizes like the impact of like how Twerk delivers his bars. Boom, there. Another thing, he goes against Daylight and probably has one of his best, in my opinion, one of his best pure rapping performances against a Daylight who just came off the Chilla battle. Had a scheme segment that was super fire. You know what I'm saying? Like had like a whole angle about like Daylight's antics and a whole ski mask segment towards the end. He has that. Then he also has a real talk moment with Rex, which like is pretty much went viral, pretty much is iconic in battle rap.
In my opinion, I might do a video on it one day, but in my opinion, probably the biggest body in battle rap history. I mean, just 100-0.
Yes.
Yeah, murder.
Yes. Yeah, you have that segment, and then you also have the segment where again, rebuttals. We already said that, like, you know, him rebutting against the freestyle moment against Serious Jones is one of the biggest freestyle moments in history, and easily one of the biggest moments in Summer Madness history. You know what I'm saying? But he's done it so many times to where, like, he can literally like steal the momentum from his battler before the battle even gets to the second round. So many backs that he can hop in. One thing I was saying off camera is that, like, while we know that Clips is like a very jokey joke type guy, he does have that little aggressive serious back that he gets in every once in a while, whether it's like his T-top third or whether
it's got scratches on it within that second round verse work, as well as the razor. You wouldn't even know you're cut till the wind hit it. I got to see that in person at Summer Impact. And I can tell you, man, something else to echo that people say, it's a whole different experience watching Clips in the building.
Absolutely.
And he's already got an amazing repertoire on camera. But I mean, like, it really is a whole different thing watching him in the building. And beyond the fact that he's, in my opinion, the most well-rounded battle rapper and, you know, one of just the greatest of all time overall, he's a really just well-rounded talent. I mean, the guy Hugo has hundreds of thousands, even millions of views just from his comedy. I mean, people doing compilations of him and Goods. I don't know if y'all ever seen, it's like a 3 or 4 series of just him and Goods joking. The man can get into a comedian bag. He's on Wild Now for a reason. Just well-versed all the way around as a talent. Can do the real talk. Very talented, pure rapper too. Maybe in terms of on this list, the best. When he really gets into his bag where he wants to go, just flowing cadence wise, that's something else that's extremely special and underrated for Clips. He's Mr. Everything. He's the original all around. He was basically a ghost in the early 2010s. He just come out, murder somebody, go away for a couple years. It's people won't understand maybe as we go and Clips becomes more in terms of pop culture and Wild and Out than as a part of battle rap. But this is a special talent in the culture, and jack of all trades. He's the king of it. To me, almost clearly is the number one on this list. At least that's how I feel.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm really confident with us putting Clips at number one on the list.
Yeah. Now, one last thing I wanted to say. You know what? I'm so get mean with it. I'm gonna take that whole thing and do a whole nother scheme with it. Outside of, like, I know we said Chilla is like the godfather of scheming, but Clips low key is like right there when it comes to schemes too. Sometimes it may be hit or miss. The draw knows.
That toilet.
right.
You know what I'm saying? We remember her serious.
I'm about to say that the draw knows, man. But still, it's like his scheming is really good too. So, like, even if you want to touch on scheme, one of my favorite rounds outside of maybe his Rex third. Y'all remember, you know, Shaq back in the day, total savage, total package. When they come to them lines, kind of average. He needs practice. He took that trip to Orlando. They couldn't hack it. Then all of a sudden, Smack believed in magic. Like, man, like even conceptual rounds like that. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like, there's so many bags that this man can hop into, especially when he's like super duper locked in. You know what I'm saying? That was a battle where he was kind of like in cruise control, but he kicked it in that third round and had a whole conceptual round that literally mirrored what, like, the Suge situation. So that makes it even that much more crazy. But yeah, man, I had to mention that just because, like, he's also one of the high profile schemers. And like, he's actually, I know people say that he's very, you know, standard in terms of like 4-bar buildups and shit like that, but like, he's very creative in terms of like talking about certain topics or touching on certain topics every once in a while. Like, you have like a out of the box concept that other battlers probably wouldn't be able to pull off, but he, you know, he's able to pull it off. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I had to mention that round because that round's one of my favorite.
You were supposed to stop that essay, that whole your name is Dot. Yeah. The whole up to that, man. Even though he is simple and he embraces it, he has that ability, like everyone else we talked about. He can make a haymaker that's like, wait, that's a really well-written punch. It's not every 4 bars, man. Not everybody's going to be one of these absolutely, like, crazy writers that's like the wordplay is like the forefront of everything. But he still is able to produce great bars. You know what I'm saying? So that we could go on and praising Clips. It's not a very difficult thing to do, man.
Baby. Or I can hit them with tear gas, leave Louisiana, baby. And I'ma do it all by my lonely like Louisiana, baby. And where they gonna find the body? In Louisiana, baby. Nigga be like, I get your homie smoked right in front of the church. You get the Holy Ghost. Cause every kiss begins with K. Bow! No, it don't! It got crazy.
like it's the only planet. You and Surf beefing, what's going on? I thought y'all was homies, damn it. He was calling your phone while he was in Detroit. The phone rung 3 times, you ain't pick up. That's when we seen homie panic. How ironic, cause after 3 rings, Shaq left Kobe stranded. Well, right? Yeah, I'm bugging y'all for real. How about so? It's showtime, stupid nigga. I'm not trying to steal. I'm Shang Tsung. I'm just turning into all the niggas I already killed. Your legacy. I'd rather you look your killer in his whole face. So you can remember the nigga from the East Coast that stripped you of your pride and your glory. Real killers don't need a face mask. I don't plan for you to live to tell your side of the story.
But very proud of the way this list came out. And overall with the Pentagon, you know, I've been happy to be a part of this entire experience,
Appreciate
man.
you, bro.
M-Link here, you know, obviously came up with the whole skeleton of this, how we were going to do the categories, and it was something that we could really meet in the middle on and give great dialogue. A lot of time went into these lists, you know, a lot of hours of talking on the phone and making sure that we got it right, paying our respects properly to all these battlers. And everybody on here, I'm a fan of. Even if we talk about battlers don't like it, styles, this and that as fans, I'm a fan of every battler here. And if they made this list, you know, thank you guys for your contribution, man. To have this well-documented history that we can put together like this, you know, it's not possible without these great talents. So glad to be a part of it.
Yeah, for sure. I can echo everything that you said, man. It's been a ride doing all these videos. You know what I'm saying? One small announcement, right after this drops, I'll also be announcing the winners of the Rappers Pentagon contest, $500 award. The contestants are Shotgun Suge, Twerk, Ill Will, K-Shine, and App. But outside of that, man, I have nothing else to say. Thank you very much for all your help in doing this. We have a graphic coming out of all the top leaders of each category, so that'll be fun. And yeah, just contributing content to the battle rap streets. But thank you guys for watching. This is Speaker Language Show with JSmoReviews.